So the last presentation was a great representation of what you can do with organic in social media across Twitter, across Facebook, and of course other platforms as they emerge. What we focus on more at Kinetic is the paid solution within social, and as many of you have probably heard or read along the way, paid is becoming more and more dominant within the social ecosystem. So organic has an enormous role to play and can be an incredibly powerful amplifier of paid media, and we believe, in fact, in social, far more dramatic amplifier than you'd typically find in other forms of digital. But the paid is certainly becoming more and more relevant, especially if you don't have the opportunity of having a particular event or a series of events that might lead to a natural or native sort of organic opportunity that you can amplify, and you're really looking to run a campaign that's a little bit more like a classic digital campaign. So with that, what we're going to talk about is a Microsoft education campaign that is presently in flight. So this is a Microsoft EDU. The campaign is, the client is Microsoft and the creative agency is New Honor Society. I'm joined on stage by two gentlemen, Jason Cochran from Microsoft and Mike Geiger from New Honor Society are going to join me in talking about this. This is a campaign that primarily leverages video, both on Facebook and Twitter, especially leveraging new tools that have come out in the last month or so from Facebook and from Twitter. It's run in the US and the UK. It is in flight. It goes through the end of the month here. And about equal portions, depending on how the campaign is run, across the Facebook and Twitter platforms. And with that, I'll turn it over to Jason, who can kind of take it from here.
Great, thanks, Don. I think it's really great that we're following Tequila for talking about a higher education topic, which is a lot of fun. So, anyway, when we were thinking about this campaign, the education industry is very diverse and it's very large. I mean, everybody sitting in this room was a student at one point in time. Probably many of you have kids that are in school at this point in time. And when we think about the market as a whole, there's a ton of different messages that get into the market. Every company out there, every technology company out there right now is focusing on the education market. And they're all talking about how they have the best device or the best service for education. At Microsoft, we take a little bit of a different approach, and we really focus more on empowering the educator to really inspire students to improve learning outcomes. And how we do that is by not focusing on one device or on one particular service. We really focus on the entire ecosystem. It's about devices, but it's about having the right device for the right student at the right time. So the way a kindergartner is going to use a device is a lot different from the way that somebody in business school is going to use a device. And you need to make sure that that experience is actually very straightforward. The second part of that message is really around tools. So really using the Office platform, Skyping between classrooms, just really having a great tool for education. And the third thing that we wanted to center on is making sure that once we show up and land these devices or services, we certainly train educators to actually make sure that they're using it in the classroom instead of just handing a kid a device, making sure that they're able to use the device and really getting people engaged. And then, of course, the fourth main pillar of this campaign was all around management. We need to make sure that we're keeping kids safe online and that we're also being respectful of their privacy. So with that, we really established three main goals for this campaign. It was all about awareness, right? So we wanted to really vastly increase our web traffic. We wanted to really activate on social media, and we've got some great results that Don will go over here in just a second. And finally, we wanted to drive it into action. We really wanted to drive office activation. So we worked with New Honor Society, our agency partner, for some time, and developed a great campaign that I think, Mike, you can take us through.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
Sure.
So as Jason mentioned, the education audience is pretty complex. We've got 4 different targets that we're going after: IT decision makers, educators, parents, and also students. So we looked at how can we tell Microsoft's end-to-end solution in a way that will be engaging and really resonate with each of the different audiences. And we looked at developing case studies in a video format. So we'll take a look at the first one here is a UK example.
We have a very sort of mixed economy with a wide array of different devices all running Windows 8.
I think it's a lovely combination with the touch cover of being able to use it as a relatively conventional machine, but also the opportunity to work in a tablet environment.
Children can get on with the task of learning without having to worry about whether they can use equipment correctly.
And then the next one is the version we ran here in the US on Facebook and Twitter.
It's more than just a tablet. It has all the functionality of a computer.
They've got the keyboard. But then to be able to transition to a touch screen is fantastic.
I use the pen. It's really fun.
You have different devices you can choose from. The flexibility is important because what may work at the elementary school level may not be the same kind of device that you want to use at the secondary school level.
So to enable that to happen, and to enable the results on it, we had a sort of multifaceted approach to being able to go out and help Microsoft and, of course, the agency achieve the objective. The objective is really a hyper-targeting objective, and that's pretty critical when you are talking about social. It is a massive audience, but you have to be able to segment that audience. And in particular, technology educators and educational technology specialists were what Microsoft wanted to really be able to address in terms of customer segments. The challenge is being able to find that very niche audience and show them, obviously, the right message at the right time for that. And the tactics we used for it was using Twitter and Facebook on the video that we talked about before. The video that you saw, the US video, was the #1 ad video or video advertisement on Facebook and Twitter starting on August 1st through present. So we saw a lot of resonance on the campaign, which was great. And the way that we do it is one part technology and one part very human-centered. On the technology side, it's all about multivariate testing. So as an ad tech company focusing on the area, our objective is to take the message and find the right audience, segment out that audience. We released a new multivariate testing suite recently in July. We leveraged that to go from 10 pieces of creative, which were provided by the client and the agency, looking at age, demographics, within age, gender, also looking at interest segments, which is pretty powerful within the social media realm. And then format, where you want to show it. And you ultimately come up with about 600 ad combinations. So the technology is what enables us to turn 10 creatives into 600 ad combinations and track them and promote the ones that are doing best. And as you can see from the chart, ultimately you're looking to maximize spending on the basis of the powerful, or how powerful an ad is, how engaging an ad is. And then the results, we think the results fortunately speak for themselves. The engagement rate on the video campaigns in the US and the UK were off the charts. In the US in particular was a 10.9% engagement rate, and that's versus 1% industry average. And then in the UK, we also saw an increase up to about 7.8% versus 1.1%. So we, and I think more importantly, the client, were happy with those results. Additional results, if you recall what Microsoft was talking about, what Jason was talking about earlier, a 900% increase in the web traffic, twice the number of fans and followers associated with the campaign, and 1.2 million campaign or office activations, which was a KPI for the campaign.
And actually, I just pulled those numbers for the last week between when we submitted these slides and we're now at 1.6 million. So it's continuing to pay dividends.
Well, that is great, and we are glad to hear it. One of the things we just thought we'd leave you with, and you can look at this a little bit more if you take a look at our blog, or we're working with Ad Age to promote this, is what are some insights that you can use for your campaign in terms of getting out best practices and really managing a superior campaign. They're different for each, for Facebook and for Twitter. You can read them up there because the timer says I'm down to 0. And I'll just leave this as opposed to the thank you page as we transition off. But again, we'll have this on our company blog, and Ad Age will have this on our behalf. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you.